Hey guys, I wanted to pop in real quick, and I'm using the green screen because I'm wearing a green shirt, and I had it on my streaming. Holy, here's my hat. When I had it on my streaming app, I disappeared except for my head. So I decided to go with that. And by the way, it's a Mystery Science Theater ugly sweatshirt. All right. I hope everybody enjoyed the movie tonight. And the Doc and I, when we first got together, and we were talking about shows we wanted to do, this was the Christmas movie we wanted to do. It's going to play every year annually. Pardon me, I am all itchy. I've been running around like crazy today. But, and there was 4 songs in the video, right? The 2 with the little kid are that's my now 21-year-old son, Jimmy, who, before puberty, his voice changed. He had a beautiful voice. It's still a great voice now. But when you hear a little kid sing those songs, it's magical, you know what I mean? And he was one of those kids that would literally, he would walk into a room and just start singing. I mean, that's the way he is. And then the next song we had was Elizabeth Chamberlain. My tongue is twisted. Elizabeth Chamberlain, who has been in, the grotesque movies, haunted movies, Ezra and Gore Girl, right? She had a bit in that. Let alone all the shorts and all these, that we've had on the show, pretty much since last October was the first time I think we showed Grotesque 1, But, I wanted to, and the second song was by the Alan Mann Band. Now, I've been wanting to put that song in a while. It took me the longest time to find somebody that could give me permission. So this year, it's happened to find out that this guy Perry, who's somebody that I've met through Delco Horror Haven, he played I think he played the accordion on that song, right? And I'm like, dude, can I use that song? And he put me in touch with the manager, right? And the manager let us use the song. Now, what's the big deal about the song? In Philadelphia, right? That song has been a Christmas staple since God knows when, right? There's a guy, God rest his soul, his name was Pierre Robert, and he was like the afternoon DJ most of the time on our station WMMR in Philly, which is, at one time, that was the most popular rock station in the nation, them and WMMS out of Cleveland. And the name of the band was the Alan Mann Band, and Pierre Robert would play that every day, Christmas season, every day. And if you know the story behind it, all right, the story behind it is the house that they're at is in Upper Darby, so it's the northern end of the Tri-Darby Kingdom, and the people that live there, it's a mother and father. This is the story that I remember hearing. The mother and father were both blind, and they went to school at the Overbrook School for the Blind in Philadelphia, which is one of the top schools in the nation for people who are blind, right? And they have it's funny, they had a wrestling team back in the 80s that won like all kinds of state championships because they had a really good coach, but the joke was they couldn't see their opponent to be afraid of them. You know what I mean? Anyway, so these 2 people, they got married, that met at the Overbrook School for the Blind. They had 2 kids. One was blind, one was not. And every year, they would decorate their tree outside, and they would just go over the top with decorating the tree. A tree that they would never see bright. But they wanted to make sure that their one kid who could see, right, could celebrate Christmas like everybody else. And that song just like gets you because it's Philadelphia, because Philadelphia's a city of neighborhoods. Philadelphia is a city where people help each other out. You know what I mean? That's the Philadelphia that I grew up in. I grew up in Southwest Philadelphia, then Darby, then like after I graduated high school, I think I lived in like 11 different places, you know, before I settled here out in the Netherlands with Helga and the boys. But the sad part about it was he was going to play, and this again, this is conjecture, but he was going to go play a Christmas in July concert, and all the money that comes from this song, right, goes to the Overbrook School for the Blind, and he was going to play a benefit, and on his way to the benefit, he was walking, there was a house that was on fire, and he ran in and saved somebody, and then he ended up dying of smoke inhalation. Now, I'm a fire policeman, I'm not a firefighter, I'm not running in the building. I make sure people don't bother the firemen while they're fighting the fires. My son, Jimmy, right, who's the little kid singing those songs, he's a fireman, right? And when I hear this song and I think of this guy, Alan Mann, it just goes to show that there's a lot more going on with people than you understand. And he's a rock and roll lad. He was a partier, right? But he, you know, decided to write the song to give, right? So the song could earn money to help the Overbrook School for the Blind. And like the guy had no fear, and he went into a house and, you know, without any fire equipment or anything, and he saved somebody's life. So, you know, that song is very, very important to me as a Philadelphian, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, you know. Again with the movie, right, Santa Claus versus the Martians, it's, you know, a movie that I remember seeing on Dr. Shock back in the day, and so did Dr. Ed. And that Dr. Shock is actually where Dr. Ed gets a lot of his character from. Because he's into magic and all that kind of stuff. Dr. Shock was the man, the myth, the legend with me. And that was one of the few times I saw my father actually cry, was when I actually came home from work. I was working at this newspaper stand down a block from my house, and I come walking in, and my dad's like, he's like, hey man, he goes, I gotta tell you something. I'm like, what's going on? He goes, Dr. Shock died, and he literally had a tear coming down his face as he was telling me about it, right? Because Dr. Shock was a bonding thing with my dad. Dr. Shock and football, things that we bonded on. And I remember, like, I had 4 sisters, right? So my dad and me spent a lot of time together because I love my sisters, but holy Christmas, what up? 4 of them, right? And my mom. And the dog we had was a female. My dad and I were there. I remember when I went to college, and my dad would call me at least 3 or 4 times a week, just saying, when are you coming home? I need to hang out with a guy. I need to hang out with a guy, you know. But, so this movie, as horrible as it is, right, is just a fun movie, and I love watching it every year. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as the Doc and I did presenting it, you know. And I just want to wish everybody a really, really Merry Christmas. This year, last year in 2023 for me, sucked. I got laid off from my job. In 23, I got laid off from my job. I was sick. They thought I had cancer, and it was just a really bad year. And, you know, and to get laid off from work after you had a cancer scare really sucked. And the guy that's my boss, I've forgiven him, but someday, right? But 2025 has been a great year. I got a great job. I work for a great person. And, you know, and doing this job, working with the Doc and John. We started it last year in June of 24, and by the time we got around to taping this episode, we were in our stride, and the Doc and I, so we've gotten good synergy. And it was, you know, this if you watch our first bunch of episodes, John Rios wrote the boss. He wrote the scripts for them, and the Doc and I were like literally reading from the scripts, and you could tell we were very, very like robot, right? And then I said, John said, let me write the scripts, and nothing against the way he wrote them, but the Doc and I are the way we do things is we just ad lib. The only thing that is actually written down are the deets that I read, right? Who's in the movie, what movies they've done, right? The jokes, right? But when I read the letter, the Doc has no idea what the letter is. He has no idea what the jokes are. And if you remember the one episode, oh my God, I forget the name of it. But we did it, and I did the jokes, and I threw a couple of like dirty jokes, but you could say them on TV, right? Kind of double entendre jokes, right? And the Doc had no idea. And if you could see the look in his face, right, when you watch the episode, he's like, I can't believe he did that, you know? And then there was, you can tell me green screen. Oh, it's all cockeyed, no wonder. All right. Oh, can you hear me? Hello. But, that's when we really hit our stride, and we ad lib. 99% of our show is us just ad libbing, right? And it's because, you know, I think I kind of steer the show, right? You know what I mean? And the Doc, he's the comedy. He is a font of useless information. God bless him. You know. So I just want to say, right, you know, thank you very, very much for sticking with us these 2 years, well, the year and a half. And, you know, I want to thank the Doc for everything he's done, because I had no idea what I was doing. All I knew was I wanted to do this, right? And I was all full of spit and vinegar, man. I wanted to get out there and do it. And I've done a couple episodes before the Doc and I got together, right? And they weren't the greatest because I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to do videos and all that. And I've learned all that from him. And, you know, God bless him. Thank you, Doc. Thank you. His name's John Murray, right? Him and his wife are the salt of the earth. And, you know, they got beautiful kids. He has beautiful grandchildren. They both have beautiful grandchildren. And I just want to wish them a very, very Merry Christmas. And thank you for everything you've done for me. Second, Johnny Rios. All right. John, you've gone through the world's shittiest year, right? With your mom passing away. God bless her, right? But John, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to do the show with Doc. And, you know, like I said, it was one of those things. He posted out there he's looking to have a show just for his station. And I said, hey, I want to do this, right? And I sent him a clip when I was on the Doc show, his Dr. Dread Reviews. I did a couple of bits on his show. You know, Doc had just met, we had met once, you know what I mean? But we clicked like that. And I sent him that. And then when Johnny Rios saw it, he got the two of us confused, right? But he wanted me on the show, and he wanted Doc on the show, right? And then he realized that we were two different people, right? And then he said, "You guys want to do it together?" I'm like, "Hell yeah," you know. And that's when the Doc and I started. So Johnny Rios, God bless you. You had a really bad year. God bless your mom, Mildred. You know. And I'm praying for you guys, John. I'm praying that your job keeps going. And yeah. And thank you guys for the opportunity. Thank you for airing this episode, right? Because it's going to air every year, and I love this episode. Santa Claus is just the stupidest movie, but it makes me laugh, you know. And it's one of those. What do they call them? Oh God, I can't think. But it's a movie that you like to watch, and you know it's a guilty pleasure. Thank you, guilty pleasure. All right. So I'm going to sign off because I got to go upstairs and help Helga. You know, get all. We don't have to build anything, and 90% of our gifts are pretty much, you know, paper. You know, for the boys, we got tickets to see the Philadelphia Wings, which those are tickets I did not print yet, and the Philadelphia Wings are a lacrosse team. Both my boys played lacrosse in high school, so you know, and they're an indoor team, so I enjoy going to their games, you know. And then, yeah, you know, I'm gonna put stuff together. Tomorrow we gotta go. We're going house popping. So on, you know, Christmas Day we go visit Helen's sister. Then we visit my sister, and at my sister's house, like all my sister has become the mom of the family. Everybody gathers there on Christmas and the holidays, and then Helen's sister, Julia, and their family, which are they're the best people on the planet, you know. And yeah, so guys, Merry Christmas. Take care of yourselves. I love you all, and look for like the normal wake on Friday after Elves, which is you'll enjoy it. Because you'll get to see me riding a fire truck. All right? So I'll talk to you guys later. Merry Christmas, good Yule, and God bless you. God bless you, everyone. See ya. And cheers.